Hello everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV in my car because it is absolutely lashing it down. No walkies today, no nice little background sceneries for you today, and I'm out and about, so I kind of set up the nice little studio for you and have the light in the background. No, not yet. Because it is midday and it is some breaking transfer news on what is regarded as one of Newcastle United's top targets for a year and a half now. A year and a half, this time last summer, we were trying to sign this player. We've been trying to sign him this summer. We've been in talks with him. We tried to sign him back in January. Eddie Howe is a big fan. However, it is now looking likely that James Maddison will be joining Tottenham Hotspur and not Newcastle United. Let me know what you think in the comments below on that one before we fully get into it. Also, subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV if you haven't already. Alright, get that done and dusted now, please. And we'll get straight into the transfer talk. So we'll talk about who Newcastle United are going to try and sign instead of Maddison then, because we'll talk about the fact that Maddison really was a top transfer target for Eddie Howe. He really was for time gone by now. Like I said, since he really came in, Howe identified Maddison as one of his main targets, someone he really saw coming into the team, being a key element of it, being a starter, being someone who can thread a needle of a pass, unlock a defence, score a goal. Maddison's done that for years now in the Premier League. Newcastle tried to sign him last summer. £50 million is what Leicester wanted. We wouldn't go above the £40-odd million mark. And then, this summer now that Leicester have been relegated, they need the funds for Maddison. He is up for sale. Tottenham Hotspur under their new manager, Ange Postecoglou. Posty wants Maddison was his number one target, and he looks set to get him. It's been in the news there. You've seen it on your screen. Sky Sports now talking about it. It was all over Twitter about an hour or so ago. A fee is about to be agreed. Apparently there's still a bit of room to be manoeuvred on the fee between Leicester and Tottenham. At the minute, it's a 40 million bid with loads of add-ons. So a 40 million bid initially, which can rise to 60 million with add-ons, which seem to be pretty easy add-ons to do. Just X amount of appearances and stuff. So up to £60 million is what it looks like Tottenham are going to be paying Leicester for the services of the England international. James Maddison, personal terms are agreed as well. Apparently they're already done and dusted, so it's just a case of finding a bit of middle ground between Leicester's valuation and what Tottenham are offering. So it looks like it's going to be done, that one. He's in advanced talks. He's very close to joining. Sky Sports are now saying that Newcastle are pretty much off the table, and he looks set to sign for Spurs. Set to move to London, where apparently that's where Maddison preferred, which I find mental. Apparently he wanted to be in the capital. He fancied the move to London. And, he wants to go to Tottenham. If he's picking Tottenham, I don't think it's necessarily a case of Maddison really picking Tottenham over Newcastle, because Newcastle haven't paid the money. It's not like Newcastle have matched Tottenham's bid to Leicester for Maddison. It's not like they've matched the wages for Maddison that Tottenham are offering. Apparently it's £170,000 a week. So at this moment in time, that would make him Newcastle United's highest earner. You've got Tonali coming in on around 150, 160,000 a week. You've got Bruno Guimaraes set to be offered a new deal of £200,000 a week, set, so he hasn't signed it yet. It's not done. Bruno's still on less than that. Our highest earner at the minute is Trippier and Bruno on 120 grand a week, the pair of them. So if Maddison signed today, he would be our highest earner on that £170,000 a week that Tottenham are offering him. So they can offer him more wages. They can offer him a big long contract as well. With him being 27 now, I think Maddison's looking at this as his biggest payday, which again might motivate him more than the Newcastle. He might think London and more money. That's where he's going. Because I'm not being funny, and not to take me by his hat off being a Newcastle fan. If I looked at this and say, Aston Villa had been taken over and Aston Villa were Newcastle now, I would say they were the better project. Newcastle is the better project now for anybody over Tottenham. Tottenham aren't even in Europe. They're not even in the Conference League. They're not even playing Thursday nights. Newcastle are in the Champions League. So surely Maddison or anybody else would look at that and be like, right, well, Newcastle's the more exciting project. They've got the better players. They're in the Champions League. They've got the better fans. But I'm not going to say he's picking Tottenham because Newcastle aren't formally offering the same amount. If Newcastle today saw that Spurs, they can see now that Spurs are in advanced talks, Newcastle could easily make the call and go, right, Maddison, actually, we're going to offer you the same, Leicester, we're going to offer you the same. Then it would be the player to choose. Then he would decide, right, Tottenham or Newcastle. But he hasn't got a choice at the minute. Newcastle haven't pushed the button. They haven't went all out and said, right, yeah, fine, Leicester, we'll pay the 45, whatever you want, going to 60 million. And yeah, Maddison, you can have 170 grand a week. They haven't done that. So it's still up in the air in that sense that he only has got Tottenham. There's nobody else in for him. There's not even anybody abroad for him. You know, you'd look and you think, would there maybe a Lazio go in for him, or Atletico Madrid, you know, like a top European team that's just under the levels of your Barcelonas and stuff. So, no, they haven't. He hasn't got any offers from abroad. There's no Porto or Benfica or anyone coming in for him. It's just Tottenham and Newcastle that were interested, and it's only Tottenham that have actually lodged the bid and have actually talked to him and his agent. So, there we are then, one of our top targets for a long time now since this takeover. Probably the one that's been linked the longest since the takeover, isn't signing. Maddison in Newcastle is off. He looks set to join Spurs. And the funny thing is he sure about this? Because Bayern Munich have bid for Spurs captain Harry Kane today. Harry Kane is now subject to a 70 million bid from Bayern Munich with add-ons. 1 year left on his deal. So Maddison, at best, is going to get 1 year with Harry Kane. You'd think surely Harry Kane leaves Tottenham next year for a Real Madrid, for a Man United, for whoever. You'll have everyone after him next year, even with his age. So if they accept the Bayern bid, which they probably won't because it's Daniel Levy, he'll be expecting 200 million in a new stadium for Harry Kane, you know. So it's probably a bit. But if Bayern went in and offered 85, if they upped the bid, Harry Kane might not even be there next year. Do you know what I mean? Maddison's going to be playing balls through to nobody. Who's up front for them? Richarlison, even he wants to leave. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think Maddison, it's a strange one in that sense for him as well, because I get it if he thinks, I'll play with Kane and Son and that, but Kane's going to leave, and who else you got? Son said he will stay, but I don't know. It's a strange one for me. Maddison could have been playing with Bruno and Isak. You know what I mean? Now he's playing with Eric Dyer. Anyways, Newcastle haven't put the bid in, so he's going to Spurs. We look set to move on. Who are we moving on to? Dominik Szoboszlai. Keith Downey came out and said Newcastle will now turn their attention fully to Dominik Szoboszlai. I said this in the Sunday Transfer Talk live show, so that was the little exclusive little sneak peek in the know, ITK. I dropped that one on Sunday night. I said I think we will move now for Szoboszlai over Maddison. So I told you that on Sunday. So make sure every Sunday at 5 p.m. you tune in to Transfer Talk live. Obviously, it's in the title. It's a transfer talk show. We're going to talk all transfer rumours every Sunday live at 5, not 10, 5. And yeah, I said on last week's show, on the pilot show, that we are going to focus on Szoboszlai now. I just think when we've looked at the packages of both players, we've just thought, you know what it is, Szoboszlai makes the most sense. Maddison is a good few years older than Szoboszlai. He's the same price as Szoboszlai, if not more. You know, Szoboszlai's release clause expires in a few days' time. His £61 million release clause expires in a few days' time. Newcastle looking to swoosh in on that. He's a lot younger. He's hungry captain. He's played in some big games in the Bundesliga and that. You know, he's played in Europe. I think the all-round package just makes sense more for Szoboszlai. I think Newcastle United are always looking at characters. You know, there's that thing about, does Maddison have a bad attitude? His head dropped towards the end of last season. Kind of slumped a bit for Leicester. Didn't carry them as much as he probably should have, being their talisman. You know, his attitude being questioned a lot of times. That's why Gareth Southgate didn't pick him for England for a long, long time. You know, it was that party boy attitude and that, is he all there in training? You know, is he busy, a bit of a whinge? Whereas Szoboszlai, they've done the research on him. The boy looks like an absolute player, and he looks like a solid character. You know, he looks very determined, a professional. You know, that's what you want here. We want these players that are ticking these profile of boxes for Eddie Howe. You know, serious players, not ones that are going to mess about and take the piss. Not like on the drink all the time. Jackie Grealish, James Maddison. They want players that are professional. You know what I mean? Hard workers. We've got that already. You look at Sven Botman, perfect example of that type of signing that we're after. You know, leaders as well. Big leaders, big personalities, but the right ones. Not lunatics like a Balotelli or something. That's why we've steered away from certain signings. Dominik Szoboszlai, I think he will be the one now that we turn our attention to, and what a signing that would be. I said again the last week, you know, for me, I would prefer Szoboszlai over Maddison, and I was riding Maddison all year long. I was saying, my number one saying, I really want Maddison. When you look at it and you weigh it up, and Szoboszlai, and he's got years ahead of him, coach him, you know what I mean, all of that, it just makes more sense to go for Dominik Szoboszlai, and he's a top talent. He offers a lot he's more of an all-rounded midfielder for me, Szoboszlai, than Maddison. Maddison, yes, is excellent in number 10, but does Maddison really suit our style of play? If we're going to carry on playing 4-3-3, then no, he doesn't. Where's he going to fit in? Are you going to put him on the wing, not get the best out of him? Are you going to drop him as a number 8, not going to get the best out of him? Now we're bringing in Tonali. I think bringing in Tonali has changed a lot as well. I think bringing in Sandro Tonali has brought in a lot in terms of changing the focus on Maddison and the amount of money. Are we really going to spend 70 on Tonali and then 60 on Maddison with the add-ons included? You know, no, and that's why we've moved on. And like I say, Newcastle might in certain games next year, you know, switch to a 4-2-3-1 where you could have Maddison in that number 10 or someone there. But for me, suiting our style of play, suiting our formation, suiting our, you know, ethics and culture at the club, Szoboszlai fits it better than Maddison. So good luck to Maddison at Spurs. Not the best luck, but it doesn't matter. We'll finish above them again anyways next year. And welcome Szoboszlai. Let's see if any talks heat up with him. I'm sure there will now. And RB Leipzig. So stay tuned to the Magpie Channel TV for all your transfer updates. Make sure you press subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Drop your comments below. And I'll see you on the next one.